It's our honor and pleasure, sir. So the whole thing about this is not just to know more about what they do, but also about the man himself. So to start off things, I have a hypothetical question for you. So there's this, let's say we have a time and space machine, like a TARDIS.
Okay.
And you can go back to you as yourself right now, go back to a 10-year-old Raj Babu. And then you need to explain to him who you are right now. What would you say to 10-year-old Raj about what you do and who you are right now?
Yeah. So if I have to, explain it to 10-year-old Raj Babu, now is, last week we were there we were not feeling so well, and we had to take you to a doctor, and a prescription was given, and you 2 days you struggled a lot, and after that you felt much better. Why do you think so? Do you think whatever the medicine, I know you were not so happy to get the syringe and all that stuff and some of the medicines at that time, but do you think that helped? And I expect the 10-year-old Raj Babu to say yes to that and of course complain about the experience at that moment, but overall he, I'm sure he would say yes. Then I would say the current Raj Babu is in a way associated with that industry, so that we are in the business of the pharma industry is there to take care of the patients, cure patients of the ailments and disease they have, and we are in the business of helping the pharma industry so they reach patients like you at the right time, at the right cost, and also with the right drugs, so that you're all taken care on time. That's what is the business I am in.
Lovely. And does the current Raj Babu still not like syringes, or are you okay with syringes now?
The syringes have gotten much better.
That is true. The experience is,
Yeah.
Nowadays you're like, oh, I didn't even feel that.
Yeah, I didn't even feel it, right? I think I think especially the COVID shots. I took, it's been a while since I got the shots. It was the COVID shots. When I took it, I didn't even know, is it finished? Yeah, it's finished. It's done.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was that easy and
effortless. Fast. Excellent. Obviously, the reason that we're talking to you, the reason that you're here in this position is because you are an entrepreneur and that you're responsible for building up, needless to say, an empire of sorts. So my question is, were there any experiences or influences in your childhood that helped shape your entrepreneurial mindset and that eventually inspired you to pursue building not just a company, but a community?
In a way, I think, the entrepreneurs, specifically, entrepreneurs, technopreneurs, in a way, they are all artists in nature of some sorts. Right? They are creators, right? They are doing a creation. Many of them are doing the medium and the form of creation is technology. But essentially, they are a creator. So I saw my dad. He was in the construction business, building houses, and selling those houses. So I saw the stage of taking a land. Initially in a piece of paper you would draw a house, and then that house takes to a form, and that's a home for somebody after that. So that process of a person can then do something from nothing to form a house, home to somebody, that was very exciting, right? You're doing something, and it's doing something in a very positive way to people, right? And then in the process, you touch a lot of people, you give employment, you take care of them. That was very exciting. So that always motivated me to be a businessman. Originally, somebody told me, usually people start, be a businessman so that they can make some buck. But where they become really great is they move beyond past that. Not just your motivation factor is not just some buck, it's more than that. I think making a difference and being able to make people's give them opportunity to grow and all that stuff. I think that's the most motivating factor, and that was there then, and that is the driving force now too.
Okay, interesting. So, you talking about your dad's involvement in building something out of stone, and also the fact that he saw the future. It reminds me of this quote by this sculptor called Michelangelo, and he said, "I saw the angel inside the marble, and I freed him from inside." When they
Right.
told him like, "How can you make such beautiful marble sculptures?" He said, "I didn't make it. I saw him inside."
Right.
And is sculpted by freedom from inside.
Yes.
I think it's that's a great way of looking at an entrepreneur, right? He looks at something like other people see a solid block of stone, and he's like, no, I see a vision of something else, something in the future that has more value, the potential that's inside.
Of course.
And that's a quality, that's a different quality of a person, to see somebody else's potential and bring it out. And how do you think somebody can develop that quality or character?
See, it is. See, I think innately we all humans have it, right? I think innately we all have it. We are all creators, right? By nature, we are all creators. But again, the form and expression of that creativity can be different, right? When a mom cooks, she says, "Son, hey, I've tried something different." And you see the mom and the wife, they are asking for a feedback. They are actually not really asking because you liked the food. That's one part of it. But really, hey, give me a feedback on my creativity. So we are, as a human, are always creators, right? And that's why there is always, you see, in the jobs where there is that creativity, right? Or where we are touching life, there is always gratification.
Yeah.
Why people like gardening, right? You see that it grow and blossom into something. There is a create. So we always have that. We all have that. I think some of us get a medium in their career and job and business to found a way to express it. Many of us in the modern world, in the name of career and all that stuff, don't find our primary livelihood doesn't give that expression. For an entrepreneur, your primary livelihood itself gives a expression, but for others, then they need to have a hobby, right? Which is they are not able to get their thing. They have to do something else for exactly. So, but I think we all have it. It's just finding, but that's not that easy. That finding a medium and a mode to do that is the difficult part. But the even more difficult part is, hey, you all have it. Just figuring out how to take it out is the only part you have to work on.
And also, it also leads to a lot of innovation, which reminds me of how my mother once was making an omelette and she had forgotten to put onions, and she grabbed an asafoetida and she put it in a little bit. And she's like, "Oh, do you guys like it? How it is?" We're like, "It's nice, but I missed something biting into it." She's like, "No, it's a new innovation." We're like, "You forgot to buy an onion. That's it." But innovation, So in this case, mother was a necessity of invention.
Yeah.
So
we are all capable of doing it.
Yeah, and so you've had a lovely journey and a long journey. You've traveled everywhere, and I'm sure you've met lots of interesting people and lots of people, interesting stories from across all divides. Could I ask you to talk about, or even give me a small story about a person or an incident with a person which stands out? Somebody, probably the most interesting person you ever met, or the person with a very interesting story that still stays with you?
See, what is always amazing is that of all the people I have met, all the people I have traveled, which is always profound and amazes me a lot, is not the big people, the great people and all that stuff, right? Usually when I get a chance to meet somebody big or very successful, usually I don't, if there is a crowd, if there is not much of a crowd, if they are sitting, I'll go and talk to them. Otherwise, I'm not a kind of person who would go and seek and say, hey, hello, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me for them, for me to go and talk to them and all that stuff, right? But what always I like is, usually whenever I get a chance, if I'm there in a bus stand or somewhere, some place somewhere, the normal people, like, very ordinary people, like it could be a banana shop person. If I'm waiting for a bus or whatever, I'll go and talk to them. What's going on with your life? and the very ordinary people. And then many times actually, these very ordinary people, uh, and I've seen this in India and other places, mostly they are very grateful. They think, oh, they got the best. They're phenomenal. And if you go the who index and that index, they are all actually way below the line. But these people are like they think they have a best of life, they have great things going, and the thing is, they usually, in that case, they don't want to take. They want to give you something.
Yeah.
So I think like that thing, right? You are way below. You are, then see, those people are, I think they are extraordinary and rich, because I think richness or the greatness doesn't come from what you possess, but what you have to give.
Lovely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when you have to give, you think always, I have something more.
Yeah.
Hey, I have more than what I want. You want
Yeah.
to take it? I have, right? And always I have been awed by when people have that sense of gratitude, and I've seen that in and these people, usually I've seen this easily come. These ordinary people, you approach them, they are easy. The people who are these famous, they are the ones, when you walk to them or big shots, they'll say, okay, what are you coming to me? What are you going to ask from me? They have that. The ordinary people don't have that, right? And they are more easy, they are more forthcoming. I've always thought that's very phenomenal. That's what I've been always impressed of.
Lovely. I love the fact that, that line you said about richness being the fact that you don't possess things, but you not necessarily material, but you have the spirit of
Giving.
sharing.
Yeah.
That's
There are you believe that I have more than what I want, right?
Yeah.
So that's all you need. That's
Yeah,
the state
yeah.
of mind, rich state of mind.
So, talking about your varied experiences, it's very fascinated to know that you come from an experience in the movie industry, having worked with Hollywood blockbusters and 20th Century Fox and so on. So, has that, especially working with an industry that runs on a completely different set of wheels, how does that influence your approach to developing a successful tech venture and understanding market dynamics? And when you do things like, we're going to start an office in Hyderabad, or you do no cost POC, or set up labs, which are all like subsets, like a whole Hollywood industry has lots of subsets. Do you see a parallel, or do you learn something, or this is two different worlds altogether?
See, I think what I have learned while working in the media industry is that I was in the front line, like front balcony seat. What a disruption can do for an industry. So I was in the media, and the digital transformation happened. So while I'm there in the media, that's when the media is moving from physical content to digital content.
Okay.
So in the physical content, I don't know how many of you all grew up. In the 90s, most of you may be young. In 90s, the cassette business.
VHS.
No, not even VHS. When movie songs come, they come in that cassette.
Or tape. Yeah.
Tape.
Yeah.
The small cassette, right? Big business.
Yeah.
Huge business,
Yeah.
right? Before the movie launch, first song launch will happen, and that cassettes will hum. And each will sell for whatever price. Like that in US, the CD business, the physical CD was big, huge business. That kind of, I saw that their year over year, the entire company's revenue dropped by 30, 50, 40%. So I know one thing in the business, what I have learned is, when a disruption comes, disruption is like a tsunami. You don't fight tsunami. You only kind of know how to work with the tsunami, or kind of ride a tsunami. You either ride a tsunami or do whatever with the tsunami, but whatever it is, you are not going to fight it.
Yeah.
There is no way you are going to winning by fighting it.
Go with the flow.
You have to work with it. So that is one thing which I have learned coming out of that industry. So I always, when technology and the disruption happens, I just work with that, right? That is one thing I've learned. That is what I've carried. And, and we are all like this, everybody here, we all saw, right? 2-3 years, everything changes, right? When I was growing up, by the way, for all of you, many people, when I was growing up, when I was like 10, 15-year-old, they will tell, India telephone for everybody will not happen in 100 years. Literally, people will tell. This country is never, we are all not going to have a telephone. Even in 100 years later, nobody will have a telephone. They used to tell this all the time. All until cell phone came.
Yes.
Once the cell phone came, 2005, 2010, everybody is having a cell phone. So, we always underestimate how disruptive technology can be.
Yeah.
We humans underestimate the power of technology. It is hugely, and that is something which I have learned. So that is what I use in the business. So we are in the technology business, and the disruptive is for positiveness, right? Always, right? Doing things better, efficient, and all that stuff. So that's the business we are in, and glad to be in this business.
Talking about disruptive technologies, and especially something that's just come up over the last few years, is the availability of data and cloud capabilities, right? Now, these tools are being used to get you deeper insights into human behavior and to develop solutions that create a more significant and meaningful impact on society. And you are now focused on that. And that is something that's right now and present.
Yep.
How do you plan for this? One. Two, how do you do talent acquisition for this? How do you get people who are in the same mindset, who will understand how this goes on, when the entire field itself is just a few years? How do you plan for that?
The future is going to be, right, so far, we were in the knowledge economy, right, from maybe 2000, they used to call. I think from 2020, starting 2023, with the advent of AI and generative AI, we are in insights economy. Knowledge is just a gathering of information. What did you do with that? Insights is you deriving and doing something with it, something meaningful with that. So we have moved from knowledge economy, now turning the corner to insights economy. So we are in the insights economy. The insights economy is, the insight always comes with the context. Insights always comes with the context. You cannot be a generalist and have an insight. You have to be always a specialist to have an insight. So I think that's why one of the reason, until 2 years back, we were advanced analytics company, purely advanced analytics. Any industry, advanced analytics we will do, right? But then I said, but we were in a knowledge management industry, analytics, data for analytics management company. But then I said, hey, we need to move more value. We need to provide more value. If we have to provide more value, we need to provide deeper insights. If we have to provide deeper insights, then we have to go deeper into an industry. And that's when we chose life sciences, the industry. We want to go deeper. So we went into that. So now the moment we have made that decision into the life science industry and we want to go deeper, biotech, biopharma, all that stuff. Now we want the people where we will take, before we used to hire IT technologies programmers, but now we will take the biotech people and then teach programming so they can better understand, they have more context.
Yes.
Because we cannot get any programmer and easily teach the biology and the context. So we are hiring biotech people and giving them the context. So now they can drive deeper insights and innovation into the pharma and biotech industry.
Okay, so not only did you pivot, you also figured out how to pivot the entire field so that it works, bringing the both of them into a symbiosis of sort, a mutual, where you have both the tech people learning about life sciences, which is something that they should.
So we are just starting now. Very soon we will see all the services industry. There will be, most of them, generalist will go away. I think a specialist will come, because insights means specialization.
So we just learned about how your journey from the media industry and how that's made you understand this field differently. And then you went to tech, into cloud and analysis, and now you're into life science, right? So that pivot happened into life science. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Why life science, and what led you to take that decision?
So I was basically we because of the geography we were in, um, we were primarily an analytics company. We were we were helping various industries. The dominant was media and entertainment industry, which is the studios and music companies. We were servicing the largest music and media and entertainment companies. Then what happened is, but then there was only like 5 companies, large media companies there were. So that was not big enough industry for us to play in. So I was looking, okay, we need to pivot into another industry. So then I looked at in our portfolio what other industry was there that we can try to, which will kind of meet the criteria we need, and and it will be exciting also. So the industry clearly dominant was life sciences. And then when I did a little bit of digging into life science industry, I found it's the data and the insights and the complexity working in it is huge. And also I loved the fact that data was a key part of their R&D and discovery. So, which was a very, very interesting and a fascinating place to play with. And also the commercial angle, right, which is understanding the patients, the doctors, how to reach them, educate them, all that was a complex way. Because of the regulatory and all that stuff, you cannot directly reach them. So I thought it was a big industry, great industry. All the data, when I did the research, happened to be so. So I said, okay, that's the industry we will pivot towards.
During the pivot, you talked about geography, right, and that impact. So why do you believe that it's crucial to focus on global solutions rather than limiting the scope only to India, especially considering that the potential for innovations created here has a worldwide impact?
See, I think pretty much today there is no more. You have a choice to make, right? If you are not physically constrained, anybody and everybody can be a global company today.
Absolutely.
Right? It's everything. Everybody, I think, I would encourage them to think global. It should be, right? Because if you are servicing, end of the day, all businesses directly or indirectly are servicing humanity.
Yeah.
And humanity is not limited to your city or your town or your country, right? It's limited to the entire Mother Earth. So I think everybody should think globally, operate globally as much as possible, because then your market is bigger. The space in which you are, the problem solving, opportunity is bigger. Everything is bigger.
There's a word that I came across which was very interesting called glocal, GLOCAL.
Exactly.
Think of the global world as your local.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And I think that's where we are heading.
I didn't think it through like this, but it just happened like that. It is global because, hey, I was in analytics industry. And this is pretty common. Most of the entrepreneurs, right? They kind of put things together what they are familiar and know with, and that's how they do. So I was born and brought up in Chennai. So when I started offshore, which is very key for our business, I started it in Chennai, right? So you see, hey, there is a need in the market. The talent is there. I know Chennai. I can get talent in Chennai. So you set up offshore, and then now, you say it's a business. So I think, yes, definitely there is a global, because there is a customer in the US, of course, anywhere in the world now, and then there is some good supply spots, provide value. You take from where the supply comes to where demand is.
We are at a wonderful place in human civilization where there's a rapid evolution of technology. We know that more things have come in the last 100 years than the last 1,000 years put together.
Of course.
Right? And with this rapid evolution of technology and its increasing integration into every aspect of our lives,
Yes.
What are your predictions for the future of insight, humanity, and impact? And how do you envision advancements in areas like AI, which we have to talk about, data analytics, and connectivity, shaping the way we understand human behavior or solve complex challenges? And is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? We are at the precipice of finding out. What are your thoughts about this?
See, I think there are a couple of things, right? The technology innovation happened in really the number of things that happened in last 10 years would supersede pretty much the count of technologies innovations happened in the previous years in humanity.
Yeah.
Right, if you take literal count, I'm not talking about significance, literal count.
Yes.
Is, right, so it's going to be always the case, right? The next 10 years is going to supersede, including the recent 10 years and the history of humanity. That's the way it will be. I think the challenging factor with especially the technology is anymore going to be not the innovation. The challenging factor is going to be there is a limiting factor in humans and humankind to adapt. We cannot adapt. See, I think humans, we cannot change. We cannot adapt to change if it comes within 2 years window. We will struggle, right?
Okay.
And that is the same reason we don't change. Most of us don't change phone less than 3 years.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
More, right? We minimum 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Even if you want to change a phone, because changing a phone, even if you can afford to change a phone, you would not change your phone every month or every 6 months.
Yeah.
Because it's just an hassle.
Yeah.
Right? Because we don't want that change. We don't enjoy that change.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the limiting factor. But the technology is going to come in a hyper speed velocity.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is that we are going. I think the previous years were muscle and energy driven, and then the last 25 or 50 years was knowledge driven.
Yeah.
I think the next 50 years is going to be insights driven. Right? It's kind of more than knowledge. It's insights.
Insight. What do you glean from something that you know?
Yeah, it's good. Our machines or the technology is going to make decisions for us. They're going to make good decisions for us, so the things what we had to process, the knowledge is going to basically the power of knowledge is going to go down.
Okay.
Right? We humans, we spent a lot of time and energy in educating ourselves.
Yes.
Because that knowledge was power, but knowledge is not going to be power anymore.
Okay.
Right? I think because knowledge is just commodity, it's available. Now it's going to be insights.
Yeah.
What does this mean to humanity and for most of us, what does a job mean? Especially the white collar job.
Yeah.
The white collar job, the so-called bankers or the so-called all the accountants, the administrators, the white collar jobs are going to be crazy transformed. The blue collar jobs are going to be lucky, fine.
Yeah.
If somebody is doing things with their hand and they have to physically do something, somebody is building a building, laying a cement, civil and all that stuff. I think for physical work will be still there, but in near future I'm talking, the white collar jobs in next 10 years, 20 years is going to be seriously disrupted.
I know you've used the word disrupted before in a positive sense. In this case, would you say it's a positive or negative?
So see, the problem is it's like this, right? It is positive, but while the disruption is happening, people will go through a change, and for them it is going to be difficult. So there will be negative emotions and sentiments coming from there because they put 10 years learning something, and then that what they learned over 10-15 years is not needed anymore. So now they have to pivot and switch, whether they can do, how much of that is available. So that's going to be. But in the bigger picture of the humanity, it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually the change will finish, and it will. So it's definitely
it's evolution. It's
evolution.
Yeah.
But in the short run, it's a lot of change. See, it's like this. I don't know, most of you know. Before many streets, we used to have a travel agent office.
Yeah.
I don't think you see any more travel agent.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be booking agents. No more booking agents.
I know this for a fact that a lot of people don't know what an IATA is. We used to have IATA agents who are the only ones who are responsible for getting a ticket.
Tickets.
My dad still finds it very interesting that I book my flight tickets on my phone. He's like, no, flight ticket's a big thing. Don't you need to go stand in line?
Dude, you don't need to even book your flight tickets. It's going to happen basically if you manage your calendar, right? And if you tell, okay, hey, I'm visiting Agilisium office. Okay, let's assume Vikas has sent you an invite in Agilisium office. You are in Mysuru.
Yeah.
Then your agent will, your own agent will find, oh, Betty has to go to Chennai on this time. It will look for the tickets. It will know your preferences based on past, whether it is a train or a flight. And it will automatically look for the best deal. It will book the ticket. Morning, it will call the Uber if you choose to take a Uber or whatever, and it will get it, and it will be there, and it will tell, wake up, hey, your Uber is there.
Absolutely.
Because everything is there in your calendar, and it will basically do all that stuff. The agents are going to do where it's you don't need to do a thing.
We are almost there. Like, genuinely, this is what's happening because my Alexa at home told me that I have my Shatabdi, and when I open IRCTC, it goes that it knows I need a window seat. It knows that I need my bread omelette. It's that we are that close to being completely.
That's it. Completely, it will. So then, where I think it's going to become is I think the art is going to pick up.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is the critical thinking, deep science, and art will be the ones. Because what happens is now this middle work, most of the work is going to go away over next 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So then what happens is, I don't think people's livelihood will be a problem. People will get somehow paid and whatever livelihood. I think the biggest challenge is going to be the boredom is going to be the problem. I think that is going to happen because we thought this booking the tickets and going and calling, all this was work. Now, if machines are going to take all this work away, then
what do you do?
What we thought as a work, as it's not there, not available, it's gone. They will give still, okay, you will have money, okay, but you will have money, you can travel, you can do shopping, you can go to restaurants, but you won't have. You will have like maybe you have to do 2 hours work a day. What you will do rest of the time? I think that's going to come, right? Machines are going to take most of the work, and people are going to be left with a lot of time in their hand. And I think the only way they will find a purpose to do with that is with art or something like that.
Well, what would you do? Let me ask you, if you suddenly find that you have 4 hours to do every day, you could do whatever you wanted to do, and it has to be not work, what would you do?
Fortunately, I solved that problem for myself 15 years back.
Okay.
So I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur. So I'll be going and taking advantage of whatever these disruptions are happening, that conversion, I'll be working on that business. So I'll be busy, kind of doing something or other. So as an entrepreneur, that's fine, right? But in case, let's assume, hypothetically, I still have that huge time and stuff like that. I think one of the things, today, Sudarshan was just asking, hey, would you like to work with people, young generation, and mentor and coach? I would love working with the people, mentor, coach. I think definitely there would be a lot of need for that, for entrepreneurs or otherwise too, because so many things are changing now, right? So rapidly. So people need, some guidance, assistance, and how to deal with all that stuff.
Absolutely.
That's what I would
We have this on record now, so in the future, if we can put this on
paper,
no,
I'm always happy to do. No, actually, I always tell, like, hey, if I'm out of business or if I've retired, what I would do, I always tell, like, hey, can we go and buy a college, right? Buy a college, a small college closer to city, and I would like to kind of, do a school of entrepreneurship, right? And that school of entrepreneurship is probably not a MBA degree. It's just like I'll make it more like a diploma,
Okay.
so that I want it to become more practical and less of a degree and more of, hey, you come there, you work and you get things done, right? I would definitely love to do something like that.
That's fantastic. We're just down to the last two questions. So, okay, we are now at this point in Agilisium's journey, right? Now, as a biologist, my one of the things that I keep fact checking people is that evolution does not have an endpoint.
Yep.
Evolution is a process. There is no, you can't say humans are the peak of evolution because there is no peak. It's just a constant thing.
Yep.
So, keeping that in mind, and now that since you are now part of life science, so you can say, welcome to the family, Raj.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
What do you think the evolution of Agilisium is going to be like? What would be the journey ahead of you?
See, that's an interesting point you asked, the way with the evolution. The way the evolution happens is it's not the one being continuously evolves forever.
Yeah.
The being sheds seeds and then those evolve, and that's the way you are.
Yes.
So I don't know whether Agilisium will be there for 50, 100, hundreds of years. I don't know that. But what, from that question's point of view, the way we will be, but we will, as in the spirit, we will be there, because that's what that entrepreneurship. We basically, one of the things, the reason I want is to, with the motto we have with the Agilisium, is insights, impact, and humanity. The reason is that the point of that is we want to use insights to create an impact to humanity. And I think one of the things India, I definitely through Agilisium I want to contribute is we need to become, serious and impactful in a global marketplace as a innovation player, as a R&D player. So that's why I call Agilisium is not a technology or a digital transformation company. We are a data-driven insights company. I think insights is a new industry. Like IT is an industry, insights is a new industry. So I think we are in the beginning of that industry. We are going to open that industry. We don't even call ourselves an analytics company, we are an insights company. So this is a new industry that's going to open. So our legacy or for the future and the evolution will be the first company in Chennai who started the insights business.
Wonderful. Well, that brings us to my final question. There should be it need not be, but then it is generally believed that everybody has a sense of purpose, something that drives them, a sense of purpose which gives them that spirit to get up in the morning and say, okay, this is what I'm here for, this is what I'm going to do. So can we know about Raj's sense of purpose and what drives you?
See, what I just previously told is what drives. My sense of purpose is basically, I believe there is no really, I personally believe there is no God-given purpose for anybody, right? And, there was, I think long time back, I used to, when I was in my self-discovery process, I read a book called Purpose-Driven Life or whatever, right? Yes, purpose-driven life, but it is not anything God-given, right? You are the architect of your purpose, right? Everybody we have to do, and you can do, that's the beauty, right? You make your purpose, right? And I think, and then many people where they get lost is they get very philosophical about their purpose, right? They see what is that one purpose that I've been born. I'm probably born for, God has made me born to solve that one purpose, right? It's really not that. There is infinite purposes one can yield to, and but you cannot do infinite purposes. You have to pick one purpose and move with that and get it done. So I think my purpose is really, I always believed is do what is the right thing at that moment in front of you, everybody, right? For everybody at that any given moment, there is one right thing they have to do. Very simple. Everybody got it, right? If you have to if you have a child to go, and if you are a father You are a provider. Your purpose, the right thing to do is go to work, get the resources, put it in the table for the family and take care of the family, right? That is the right thing to do. So like that, all of us has a simplistic, hey, what is the right thing to do? And that's what I think they have to do. And in that way, for me, the right thing to do, which I can do, and right thing to do is that make a Chennai a innovation spot.
Okay.
And that's why I said, hey, insights innovation. I want to bring India also to be a global player in R&D. And I think my way with my skills is to do R&D is data driven insights.
Yeah.
And I want to build a innovation company in Chennai which serves global market through data insights. So that's my purpose as it stands now. And I think I think I'll be working on that for a long time because it's a big project.
Fantastic. And we'll be there to support you and to learn from you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure everybody who watches this video are going to sit back and think about the things that you've said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best, and
Thank
it's
you.
been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.